Hello, and welcome to Central Europe Online. I'm Deirdre Brennan, and here are some of the stories we're following for Monday, March 30th. Romania's Liberal Party calls for the Prime Minister's resignation. Poland's president wants a deadline for EU accession talks. And Maestro Solti's ashes are buried in his native Hungary. Infighting in the Romanian government continued on Saturday as the country's Liberal Party called on Prime Minister Victor Ciorba to resign. During a party conference in Bucharest, the junior party in the ruling coalition voted unanimously to urge Ciorba to step down and make way for a new centrist coalition government. The call followed a similar move last month by the Social Democrats, who pulled their ministers out of the cabinet in protest. The government has been virtually paralyzed for months by feuds over who is to blame for the country's lack of economic reforms. Polish President Alexander Kwaśniewski on Friday called for a deadline to be set in negotiations on joining the European Union. In a speech at the London School of Economics, Kwaśniewski said a deadline was needed to avoid becoming bogged down by prolonged negotiations. The president said it was clear that Poland's application for membership would be accepted, although it was not possible to predict how long it would take. Poland, along with Hungary, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Slovenia, and Cyprus, will open formal membership talks with the EU on Tuesday. Maestro Sir George Solti's ashes were interred in his native Hungary on Saturday, ending almost 60 years of exile for one of the world's leading conductors. Solti, who died last year in Britain at the age of 84, was welcomed home at a moving public ceremony in the foyer of the Liszt Academy of Music. The Jewish conductor fled Hungary in 1939 and did not return until the collapse of communism in 1989. After the service, the Culture and Education Minister said the maestro is part of the country's culture and his wish to be buried in his homeland was important for Hungarians. Poland's Jewish community is trying to calm a feud over a large cross at the former Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. Some Polish Catholics, including senior bishops and politicians, have criticized demands by Jewish groups worldwide for the cross's removal. The Association of Jewish Religious Communities released a statement Friday saying, quote, "We view the growing atmosphere of conflict over the cross in Auschwitz with pain and sadness." The association said the best way to solve the dispute might be not to have any religious symbols at Auschwitz in order to respect the feelings of as many victims and relatives as possible. For more on the dispute, see Central Europe Online's top stories. And now, for a look at Tuesday's weather. Bratislava, Budapest, and Warsaw will all be partly cloudy, with highs in the 60s and overnight lows in the 40s. Bucharest will also be partly cloudy, with highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s. Ljubljana will see cloudy skies, with highs in the 50s and lows in the 40s. And Prague will see a mixture of sun and clouds, with highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. And that's Central Europe Online. For the European Internet Network, I'm Deirdre Brennan.